So continuing on with our assembly here, um, it looks like that these inner side rails are pretty symmetrical. So what we could do is just create an inner side rail sub-assembly, and then we only have to do one side, at least for parts of it. At some point, we're going to get to a point in the build where they're not symmetrical. They're mirror images, which is not the same as being symmetrical. So I'm going to go ahead and do a save as. Okay, and let's call this inner side rail. Okay, so we'll save this as inner side rail, right? And so now we don't need some of these parts, right? So let's see if I can select those parts and just delete those parts. Okay, so now we're just going to work on one side. All right, so we need to bring in shaft. Oh, let's see, we have the shaft, we need the collar. So let's go ahead and bring some more parts in, and I'll just pin that to keep that there. And so let's bring in a couple of screws and the shaft collar and a motor. Okay, so maybe the first thing we can do is put the shaft in the motor. Okay, now one thing I just want to point out too is when you're trying to pick, like a lot of times we want to pick a surface. Like I would like to pick, for instance, that bottom surface so I can mate the shaft here down to that bottom surface. But you can see in a part like this is actually an assembly, right? If we look over here, you can see that actually has a lot of, so we need to fly that out. You can see there's a lot of parts there, and so if I'm moving around trying to pick a surface, it's kind of hard, right? And I think in the previous video I mentioned that if you right-click and select Other, then you can see there's all kinds of, it isn't even showing me any surfaces. There's just all kind of vertices that are right near each other. So that makes it kind of hard. If I just want to pick a surface, if you look at the bottom of my screen here, I have this toolbar. Let me just show you how to get that. So I'm just going to go to Customize, and that toolbar, I selected the selection filter. So what that allows me to do then is, let me just move this over here. It allows me to pick different things that I want to filter out. So if I have this button right here picked, right, that one is going to be just a surface. See, it says filter faces. Okay, and so now when I have that, see how it only picks faces? It's only picking faces. So that's going to make it easier for me when I want to go in and grab that face right there, right? I'm not getting all these vertices. And then I can, this button over here is just a toggle button. So if I click that and go back over here, now you can see I'm getting all kinds of points and whatnot. And it's hard to pick a surface face. If I toggle that back on, because I want to pick a face, now I can pick the face. Okay, so that can be pretty helpful at times. So anyways, let's see where we are here. So we want to, maybe we'll go ahead and put the visibility on again for the temporary axes here. And let me, whoops. So I'm just going to pick the axis here, that one, and then come over here and hold down my control key and pick that axis and pick that right there. So, okay, so now those are actually, those axes are constrained together. So I'm going to have to stop here and pick up with the next video.